You're spending the spring at wide receiver. Talk a little about how this came about, when you were approached with the idea. Was it Coach Jones? Was it Coach Phillips? Was it your idea? How did this all start?
Ever since I've been here, Coach Jones has kind of been throwing around the idea of me bringing me over to that side. As I went on in my years, I kind of felt like I got comfortable at DB, and I was just in his office talking to him a couple months ago, and then he just brought the idea up, and I said sure, and then he talked about it in his press conference, and that's when I think everybody kind of heard about it.
So he didn't have to sell you on the idea. You were into the idea from the get-go?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to go back to the offensive side. Any DB would want to catch the ball more, so I mean, I just looked at it as an opportunity for me to get better. So
you played a ton of positions in high school. Was there any desire to play offense only coming out of high school, going to college?
Yeah, I had a couple schools that wanted me to play quarterback, D1 AA's, and then I had some schools that wanted me for receiver. But I took DB just because it seemed like I was natural at it, and I wanted to see how good I could get at it. So going back and playing receiver really kind of brings back old memories.
All right. Give a scouting report of Kenneth Acker, the wide receiver. What kind of player can you be? What will be the strengths of your game if you can make it on the wide receiver side of the ball?
Probably just my IQ. Playing quarterback back in the day and being in Coach Jones' system of a read offense, I feel that I pick up a lot of schemes real fast just because I can read the defense faster. So in his offense, if you're in the right spot at the right time, then you'll get the ball. So pretty much just making sure that I do my assignment and being on my P's and Q's.
Well, you've been running in the slot for the first couple of days of practice. Will that evolve to the point that you could play inside and outside like some receivers do, or do they envision you as a slot guy only?
Right now I'm just going off of what they tell me to do. Right now they have me at the slot. I haven't heard anything about me being on the outside, but I mean, if they want to put me out there, I'll play it.
All right, you mentioned obviously defensive players love the idea of catching the ball.
Yeah.
You also seem to love playing defense, whether it's making a tackle, making an interception. You seem to play with a lot of passion and enjoyment. Which do you enjoy more, or do you enjoy them equally, the idea of playing both sides of the ball?
I mean, I just love football pretty much. So, I mean, if I'm on the offensive side, I'm going to pretty much be the same way as when I was on the defensive side. So, really, I don't have a preference that much. Just like playing football. Would
you like to make the switch full-time to receiver, or do you want to play both? Would that wear you out, playing both ways in the same game?
I mean, I would love to play both. I mean, whichever side that I end up on, I'm going to be happy with the decision. Pretty much probably going to leave it up to the coaches and see what they feel is best for my future. So I have a couple conversations with a couple people, and we'll get it ironed out before the season starts, and we'll see.
You mentioned, obviously, you're very comfortable at corner, having been there for 3 years. Do you feel like you need some work on that side to be sharp for the start of the season, or can you get that game sharpness even though you spend the spring at receiver and then just play defense during 2-a-days?
I feel that me going to offense right now is actually helping my defensive game just because our football just complements itself, offense and defense. So, I mean, even with me working on the offensive side right now, I'm just working on a different part of my defensive game with hands and understanding routes better. So I take it as, I mean, if I sit on this offensive side for a while, I'm learning how offensive people think. So if I do have to go back to defense, I'll be a little bit better at that. And if I don't, then I know what a DB can do because I played it for 3 years. So really, I'm just taking it as a learning experience, and then I'm trying to see which one is better for my future and go with that one.
When Coach Jones came to you and said, we want to try you at receiver, is there any change to your off-season workouts, conditioning program to play on the offensive side of the ball?
I mean, I just started more, instead of going out and guarding receivers, I'd go out there and guard them a little bit, and then I'd make sure I catch some balls with Gilbert and everything. But pretty much I did the same thing, just because some of my roommates are receivers, so I was always with them catching balls, trying to get my hands better for DB anyway. So then it was just like, well, I need to make sure I look at my routes now instead of just trying to catch the ball. So really, I just got with my friends and just learned some of the techniques that I needed to learn for the season before it started, and I feel comfortable now, and I think that helped me out.
You've always been a talker on the practice field, yelling at Garrett when you made an interception last year, or yelling at receivers, that kind of thing. Does it change when you're now talking to the guys that you used to be in the DB rooms with?
No, it doesn't change. I mean, I'm sure once we get with these defensive guys, the competitive edge just comes out of me sometimes, and I just feel that talking is a part of the game, so you got to make sure you get that in there too. So I'm sure a lot of them want to talk back to me for going to the offensive side, and it'll be fun.
What do you make of this defense this year? You're losing 4 defensive linemen to graduation. You lose 3 linebackers. a couple of guys in the secondary, and the defense has been pretty strong in recent years. But a lot of people sort of have the idea that, boy, you've lost a lot of talent, a lot of experience. How good can this defense be in 2013?
I think it's all up to the players, really. We have a lot of people who, if they put their mind to it, they can be great players. So if they just hop on board with what the coaches are trying to do and learn the system quick, I feel like we could rebuild just like we've done every year.
You've spent 3 years working with Derrick Odum in the secondary. Now you're getting your feet wet with Jason Phillips as receiver. How different are their coaching styles, their teaching styles?
They're pretty. They're in a way they're the same because both of them, they really stress technique. With the defensive side, I heard that all day, technique, and I went to the offensive side, and it seems like I'm hearing the same thing from Coach Phillips. But in a sense of just being out there, Phillips is more of a vocal person, and he's going to tell you what he needs from you, and Dio is more of a silent kind of guy, but he's gonna tell you what he expects of you, and if you don't do it, he'll tell you about it too. So pretty much I think that they have different coaching styles, but in a way they're trying to get at the same point of technique could take you real far, so I like them both.